That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? You know, in talking about the future of the MCU, a lot of people have been waiting for, particularly when you talk about Spider-Man, any minute now, live action Miles Morales is going to come in. Live action Miles Morales, any minute now. He's going to absolutely pop up in this, and then he doesn't pop it in whatever that was. Well, now he's absolutely going to pop up in Doomsday, or he's absolutely going to pop up in Secret Wars. And one of the things that we've talked about for a long time, Rob, is nobody should expect that. As far as we know, as far as we understand, and our understanding is not complete, but as far as we understand, Sony ain't letting them do that. Well, Kevin Feige was directly confronted with the question, are we about to get Miles Morales in live action MCU? To which he just sadly said for many people, no. This comes to us from Variety. Feige was more definitive about the potential for another highly anticipated Marvel character, Spider-Man's Miles Morales, showing up in the MCU in the near future. That is nowhere, he said. Until Sony Pictures, which holds the film rights to the character, completes its animated Miles trilogy with 2027 Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, Feige explained, we've been told to stay away. Now, I need to clarify for those of you listening to the podcast feed where the quotes are. Kevin Feige did not say, once Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is done, then we can look. No. That was Variety's commentary.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige's quotes were, that is nowhere. We've been told to stay away from Miles Morales. All right. This is something that most people have refused to believe, but we've been saying for a long time that you're not about to see that. Because look at it from both perspectives. Look at it from both the perspective of Sony and look at it at the perspective from Marvel. If you're Sony and the best thing, and I feel comfortable saying that, the best thing you've got going right now,
Kraven.
Well, I mean, aside from Kraven, clearly aside from Kraven the Hunter.
You don't mess with Tiki Tacky.
don't mess with Ricky Tiki Tacky, man. Justice for Ricky Tiki Tacky. It's the Spider-Verse stuff. 100%. Actually, you know, it's funny. I just watched a GQ interview with James Gunn yesterday, and he was ranking his 5 favorite superhero movies of all time. At number 5 was Deadpool.
Wow.
And at number 1 was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He thinks that's the greatest comic book movie ever made. And I love him for it. Because I think Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, I think those are de facto, period, end statement, live action or animated. I think those are the 2 best Spider-Man movies ever made. So if you're Sony, and that's the best thing you've got going right now, you don't let somebody else play in that playground. That is the one thing that you've got. That is, if anybody wants to see Miles, you got to come here to see it. Now, do I believe that's forever? I don't think that's forever. But if you're Sony, there's absolutely zero incentive to now let a competing version of Miles Morales appear on screen in live action form. Now look at it from Marvel's point of view. Miles Morales in the comics was introduced when literally Spider-Man was 60 years old. I mean, Spider-Man had been around for decades and decades and decades and decades and decades, and they decided to introduce something else, a variation of it, something to mix it up a bit.
Sure.
With the MCU, well, Holland is no longer a child. We have a very young Tom Holland that they're putting a lot of emphasis on. Their last Tom Holland-led Spider-Man film came this close to joining the most exclusive of clubs in Hollywood, the $2 billion club. Came that close to getting into the $2 billion club. Are you going to water that down by bringing in, now we have another live action Spider-Man at the same time that we've got this? Are you going to dilute that? Now, I love the Miles. I've grown to love the Miles Morales character, but I love him exactly where he is. And Tom Holland is cooking right now with Spider-Man in the MCU. Why would you endanger that? Why would you risk that? Why would you dilute that by bringing in another competing Spider-Man in the same live action universe? So, number one, it completely makes sense that Kevin Feige is saying, hey, we've been told to keep hands off. And I think that's good for Kevin Feige because that gives him an out, because I don't think he was ever planning on using live action Miles Morales anyway. You can drop these cute little hints to him with Childish Gambino and all that kind of stuff. You can do that. But I'm glad he clarified it. And again, from Sony's point of view, why would you let Marvel do it? And if you're Marvel, why would you do it anyway? Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. You know, it feels like workplace stress is higher than ever these days. And I was just reading that about 61% of the global workforce is dealing with above normal levels of stress. And honestly, it's not surprising. When you're stuck in endless Zoom meetings, juggling deadlines, or just trying to keep your head above water, it adds up. Now, sure, a quick vacation sounds nice, but let's be real. It's not a long-term fix. What's helped me is building small wellness habits. For me, it's things like getting outside in the sun for a few minutes or squeezing in a brisk walk during breaks. But for a lot of people, sometimes that's just not enough, and that's where therapy can really help. BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform with over 30,000 therapists who've already helped over 5 million people worldwide. Their app is super convenient. You can meet with a therapist with just a click, and if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists anytime. And just listen to the user reviews. The BetterHelp app has a 4.9 out of 5 from over 1.7 million reviews. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Campea. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea. So anyway, Rob, you heard the quotes here from Kevin Feige. Missed opportunity, makes sense. What do you think further down the line means? How do you see this whole thing?
Well, look, the Miles Morales movies, like you said, those two animated films are not just great superhero movies. They're groundbreaking animated movies. They've pushed the art form, especially in the feature film level, further. Certainly they're audacious for a studio to have made, especially the second one. I can't wait to see what they're doing with the third one. You know, what is it? Beyond the Spider-Verse. The third one, I mean, this is a Tiffany franchise for them. It's something that's unique to Sony. No one's going, oh, is that, Kevin Feige in the MCU? No, this is a Sony project, and I think a lot of people at first might have had second thoughts. I remember when we were first talking about this movie, people were like, is this going to work? I mean, how can it compete? It's its own identity. Nobody is sitting there thinking, are those Across the Spider-Verse movies the same as the Tom Holland Spider-Mans? No, there's no brand confusion there. And I think it makes sense. Why wouldn't Sony protect their investment? And they don't have to deal with, they've been very nice about allowing Marvel to come in, and they've been co-producing, or Sony distributes them, but Marvel gets to have creative control over these Spider-Man movies. They've been very nice about that. So the fact that they have their own these animated films is great, and I think it's great for everybody. I'm in no hurry I want to see these animated Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse movies continue. Hey, if they want to make 4, 5, and 6, be my guest.
Go for it. Yeah. Absolutely go for it.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Every side character they've created in that universe has been gold.
Yeah, of
We've
course.
got a live action version of the Nicolas Cage Spider-Man Noir coming. I would have liked to have seen the animated version of that.
Yeah.
But I love the, what's Johnson's first name from New Girl, who does the voice of Peter Parker in the animated.
He's Nick in New Girl.
Yeah, Nick in New Girl. It's something Johnson. Anyway, I love that Peter Parker. I absolutely love Jake Johnson's his name.
And Gwen, and Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen is fantastic. She deserves her own movie. That's, by the way, voiced by from Sinners, Anne's favorite, Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, Steinfeld.
Nobody mentioned Peter Porkins.
I was about to say Peter Porker.
Or Porker.
Peter, come on. Have you ever smelt a delicious pie? And he's flying through the air. It's voiced by John Mulaney.
Yeah.
So not only did they create this great movie, these great key characters, they created a great potential cinematic universe. Spider-Punk, of course, in the second one, Oscar Herrera's mentioning Spider-Punk in the second one. Spider-Man 99 with Oscar Isaac doing the voice of that. I mean, they have just killed it with that.
Killed it.
And I want them to make more than one every 4 years. I don't need one every 6 months, but maybe one more than once every 4 years. But again, like, why would you want that over there right now? It just messes up your property here, and it dilutes the property over there. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Kevin Feige is basically straight up and saying, yeah, we got that. We're gone nowhere with a live action Miles Morales. We've been told to keep our hands off. Now, I don't think that's going to be forever, but it definitely is the status right now. Do you think that's wise, like I do? Or maybe you think it's a missed opportunity. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.